This is Demetrius with Akeelah Traders. And so in this video today, I'm going to walk through some settings on our new Akeelah Pro strategy. And so we're going to walk through and explain how this strategy works, give you a little bit of details on what this particular pro system is doing, and walk through some of the inputs so you can understand how to use this if you're one of the users who will be using this pro system. And so let's start here. I'm just starting with a one of my basic screens that is pulled up. This is currently US 30 that we're looking at right now. So we're in the mode here where we have our chart pulled up. I've got a lot of visual cues and systems and things that are pulled up on this here. Your particular system may or may not have a lot of these indicators and things on here. In our Akeelah Pro system, all of these indicators, everything that's necessary for the system to read the markets, make decisions, etc., is built into the system already. I'm just showing this here as a visual cue so you get an idea of some of the kinds of things that we're looking for. We've got support zones in here, resistance zones. We've got TDI indicators down here, average true range, volumes, RSIs. There's a lot of different things that's built into this system here. And so as I walk through this strategy, I want to focus on what we have here in the center of the chart. And so this is a way that we have been able to combine a lot of different signals based on what our indicators and technical advisors are telling us here, and to establish what we call just an overall market strength, either a buy strength or a sell strength in the market. And so the base factor for this starts at 50%. It's a way for us to kind of get an understanding of who's in control of the market at any given point in time. So the 50% is kind of the middle ground there. And so whether the market is 50% bullish or 50% bearish, that's kind of a normal time. No one's really winning that fight there. And so once the market gets beyond 50%, that's the tilting point to switch it from being bearish to bullish or bullish to bearish. From that point on, our system is designed to go in and read the overall strength of that market and tell us, well, just I see that it's buying, but how strong is it buying? And does it look like it's a sustainable buy or a sustainable sell or not? And so as we look here at US 30, I've got three different time frames that we're able to scan. So before I get into the actual inputs here, let me review what those are. The first one is a trend signal. And so we're able to establish a certain time frame that we want to look at to determine what is our overall trend. Let's say in this example, what we're looking at right here is I'm using the 4-hour time frame. So here on US 30, the 4-hour time frame is what I have defined in my settings as the trend. So it's scanning the 4-hour time frame, and it tells me right now, based on everything that I'm reading, the 4-hour is bullish. And not only is it bullish, it's very strong bullish. It's at 100%. The next level is the trade time. I'm able to define either the same time frame or a different time frame that I want to actually take my trades on. And so I want to monitor on the 4-hour, but in this case, I have my trade time set to the 1-hour. So on the 1-hour, I understand it's bullish overall on the 4-hour. What does it look like right now on the 1-hour time frame? It's about 68 or so percent bullish. And so that tells me even the current lower time frame right now on the 1-hour is bullish. So I should be able to look for some buying opportunities here. Then the last section that we're able to monitor with this pro strategy is what we call a reversal signal. And so we're to establish yet a third trade chart time to look at that time frame and say, what is a lower time frame looking? So, for example, if I'm already in a buy or if I'm already in a sell, when's a good time for me to consider exiting my position, taking profits, closing out, that kind of thing? And so, in this case here, we are using the 15-minute chart. So it tells me right now for US 30, and at the time we're recording it, this is February 22nd. It's real late in the morning. This is almost 2 a.m. Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. So the market's not moving a whole lot now. So these numbers are not changing that much. But it does tell me at this point in time, if we're considering doing anything other than buying US 30, that's probably not the right thing. Um, so that's the way the overall system does. We're able to scan this regardless of the trading pair, whether it's stocks, whether it's futures, whether it's Forex, indices, or whatever. We're able to get these reads from the market. And so let's look next at once the system is reading this, how is it going to make decisions? And so if we were in a trade right now, again, we would be scanning the 4 hour, taking trades on the 1 hour, possibly exiting on the 15-minute time frame. Um, the system here is going to actively take a trade. Once we're in a trade, our pro system takes 3 entries. It'll be three identical entries every time it takes a trade because we're going to manage those in 3 separate ways. We're going to hit a profit target, take profit one, take profit two, and take profit three. Um, the system is going to use some exit criteria to say, okay, once I'm in this and I'm monitoring these strengths, yes, I'm monitoring these time frames, but there's other things that I want to use to help me to consider when I should get out of any potential trade. And that's going to be things like our um, overall average strength. There are profit targets that we can set in here to determine, if we have a floating profit of greater than X percent, we can set that as a number to possibly exit. Here on this reversal time frame, we can set percentages for either of the time frames, but particularly the reversal time frame. I can say, well, how strong of a signal do I want to see on this reversal time frame before I possibly exit? Right now, it's sitting at 100%, so I don't want to consider exiting my buy if I were in a buy. But if that dropped down to, say, if it got below 70%, or below 60%, or below 55%, something like that, I can use that as my basis. Okay, so let's look at the actual settings in here now that I gave just a general overview of what the strategy is going to be doing. Let me go and expand. And we don't have a lot of settings in here. This pro version has actually fewer settings than our standard trading system. Um, so let's dive in and take a look at these. So up here at the top is just some basic things in here that most users don't have to deal with. Slippage is something that's a default setting. That setting should work with generally most pairs that you would encounter. Um, the magic number is just a way to let the system know which version is being running right now. We do have a dashboard that is active. The dashboard actually shows us what things. I'm gonna pull the dashboard up right here. The dashboard actually shows us ways that we can interact manually with the system while it is running, and so I'll get into those a little bit later. Now back to the main input settings here. So the first thing we're going to do is define our overall account limits in risk. So our system is able to manage our overall account within the goals that we establish. So we're able to set a daily profit goal or a daily loss limit. And so this tells the system that if you are actively trading in the market and reach any one of these defined limits, you are to cease trading, close all of my trades, and let's start again a different day. So those are the daily settings. Then we have overall account settings. I'm able to define the minimum account balance that I want to have before this system stops trading indefinitely. Likewise, a maximum target. Maybe I've got a goal to get to grow this account to a certain dollar amount. When I get to that dollar amount, the system will automatically stop trading and won't pick up trading again until I come into the system and manually, tell it that I want to trade again. Okay. Next thing is dashboard settings here. This is just a percentage of when I'm running, if I want to interact with the system on my dashboard, I have the ability to close all of my trades, to partial close those trades. And so this is the partial percentage. It's asking me what percent of my trades do I want to close if and when I hit this button during active trading. So once those are defined, the next thing we want to do is define our risk per trade. So we said we have an overall risk here that the system is going to stay in, but we can also specify what portion of my account, what percentage of my account do I want to risk every time I take a trade. So this system is capable of taking, sometimes it takes multiple trades. We can be in one particular trade at a time. We can be in multiple trades at a time. And so for each one that it finds, what is my risk percentage there? Next thing, we have the ability to define how we want to use our stop loss. We can either use an ATR based stop loss, which is just going to look at the average true range of the market at whatever time it sees an opportunity to buy or sell. It's going to use that as my basis for determining my stop loss. And then I have a multiplier down here that I can multiply that average true range by a fixed number based on how comfortable I am with the asset that I'm trading, the normal range over how long of a period I'm trading, etc. So, and then from there, I can define my take profit targets. I can say, okay, I want to have a stop loss of 5 times whatever the average range is. My take profit targets, I want to be 5 times, 10 times, and 15 times. So this will be the equivalent of 1 to 1, a 1 to 2, and a 1 to 3 as my 3 different profit targets. Our system, whenever it takes a trade, every trade, it executes 3 identical positions, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. So I can set different take profit targets for those. I can make them all the same. I can spread them out. I can do whatever I want to do. It gives me flexibility there. Now, if I choose, also, I can choose not to use ATR based stop loss. I can change this to false and say I want to manually set my own stop loss. I want to choose on my own what kind of a stop loss I want to have. And this is done in points. And so if I'm trading something like US 30, points on US 30 is pretty much, I look at the price and any number that I see in the price is a point. And so if I want to have a say US 30 right now is around 38,725. Say I want to have a $25 stop loss here on US 30. Well, $25 is 2,500 points. It would be 2,500. So I would go in here and say, hey, I want to have a 2,500 point stop loss. That's what I want to use. And if I did that manually, I would specify my stop loss here at $2,500. 2,500 points. And then I would say, I don't want to multiply that by the ATR. I don't want to have any kind of multiplier. So I would just change that to 1. And if that's the case, the system will trade and it will leave me every time I find a trade opportunity, it's going to take an entry with a $25 stop loss on US 30. And so that's the way we would do that. If I want to multiply this number, I can say use a $25 stop loss and multiply that by 2 ATR, or 3 ATR, or 5 ATR, whatever I want to use. And it's just going to take my predetermined stop loss and extend that by whatever my multiplier is. So that's something you have to make sure you understand. What the system is doing there. By default, you can leave it in the true mode and it'll just set the stop loss based on the current ATR, where the system recommends the stop loss should be, considering whatever multiplier you choose. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is set our trend chart times. What chart times do we want to use? I've already spoken about how we can monitor over those 3 different ones. So let's say I want to my trend on the 4 hour, my trade on the 1 hour, exit on the 15 minute. I define those. Again, they can all be the same, or you can make them different. It just depends on your particular um, pair that you're trading or your knowledge of that particular pair. Next, I want to talk here about the trade settings. So, what is the logic behind what is this system actually doing? So, we have the ability to not only look for a trend. So here I'm looking for a trend on the 4-hour time frame, but I want to see how strong of a trend, or excuse me, I can specify how strong of a trend I want to see before I actually take that trade. And so here I'm going to, I can set this at say 60%. So if the 4-hour time frame, excuse me, shows me that it's either buying or selling stronger than 60%, then I want to look for opportunities. Secondly, I can say what strength to actually enter the trade. Let's see here. My trade chart time is actually the 1 hour. So I would say, hey, if the 4 hour is at least 60%, then on the 1 hour, I want to wait for maybe let's say a 70% trend to get in. I want to wait for 70%. Once it gets to 70%, I enter the trade. Now, what strength do I want to look at to take my profits? Okay, if on the hourly time frame, in this example, my buying strength, say I get in at 70%, if the buying strength gets up to 95% or greater, I want the system to start looking for opportunities for me to take profits. It's not going to automatically take it as soon as it hits 95. There's some logic in there to kind of determine is the trend still continuing, how strong are the candles and that kind of thing in there. So, but it's going to start monitoring around this 95% level. Again, I can change that to whatever I want it. I can make it 100%. I can make it 85% or something. It just needs to be a reasonable number saying if I'm getting in at this percentage, I want to be able to exit around here. Next input is a consolidation. Consolidation says I want to scan the market to see for areas where the market is not moving much. And maybe I've got US 30 here in the background on the hourly. Maybe during this time period up in here, the market was kind of moving sideways. Well, I can specify a setting here to say if the overall market strength stays below this number, I may have that at 55 or something. Um, if the trade time that I'm on, which in this case would be 1 hour, if the 1 hour starts consolidating and the overall strengths on the 1 hour stay below 55%, and again, you can change it to whatever you want to be. If it does that for a significant number of candles, then it will be classified as consolidating. And if I'm in any open trades, the system will automatically close those trades and say, let's just wait for a better opportunity to get into the market. Okay. Next one is pullback strength. So, how much of a pullback do I want to look for? And so, the pullback strength operates on my exit time frame. So, on my 15-minute chart, um, if I'm, say, in a buy, for example, I got in because the 4 hour is at least 60% bullish. The 1 hour reached 70% bullish, so I started buying. Now I'm scanning the 15-minute chart. On the 15-minute chart, I want to see bullish momentum continue. If the bullish momentum drops below this value, I'm saying I want to look to get out of my trade. And so typically that number would be closer to 50 or 55% or something like that. Um, it doesn't need to be too high because we want to be able to allow the market to pull back some, but we don't want to wait until the market starts selling here. If we're using this truly as our exit time frame, then I don't want to see the 15 minutes start dropping off and selling deeply, and I'm in a buy. I want the system to say, hey, if I'm in a buy, protect my profits. If I see that it stops buying, then close out, take my profits, and I'll come back at another time. That's the logic behind it. Okay, next one is the max floating profit percent. This is where I can say if I'm in a current trade, and maybe I'm not sure if this trend is going to continue, if it's not going to continue, but I want you scanning based on the overall count, over my overall account size. If my floating profit reaches greater than, say, 5% in this example, then close out the trades, take my profit, and look for another opportunity to get in. I can specify whatever I want this number to be. Okay. All right. Then the last section of settings is the times a day to trade. So I can specify up to 3 different times. I can choose to activate trade times. By default, if it's false, it's going to trade around the clock on the time frames that I specified. If I say use my time frames, then I can say true. Let's use these, and then I can specify up to 3 separate times to trade. Trade time 1, trade time 2, and trade time 3. I can say for each one of those, what time do I want to start trading? These are all MetaTrader times. So if I say that I want to start trading at, for me, if I'm trading US 30, that is a predominantly US market based pair. I want to trade that between, I typically trade US 30 between 5 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. And so that corresponds with my broker MetaTrader time, 1200 hours to 1830. That's the times that I want to trade. I don't want to trade in these wee hours, 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. I want to trade during the prime times that the market is either buying or selling. So I specify those. I can say, what do I want to do when the trade time comes? So when 1830 hours comes, which again is about 11:30 a.m., what do you want me to do? Do you want me to close all your trades? If I change that to true, then no matter what happens, come 11:30 a.m., all if I'm in any trades on US 30, it's going to close them. If I leave that to false, it won't close the trades, but it will not take any additional trades outside of the trade time. If I'm currently in a trade, the system will continue to monitor that trade, make decisions about exit criteria, monitor my profits, etc. And so I'm able to do that for up to 3 different trade times. And that gives me some flexibility as to how I want to run this system. So those are the settings that we would use there. Let me kind of close this out, and I'm going to jump over to just show a brief example of this system operating. I've kind of got um, my strategy tester already pulled up here, so we can actively pull this up and just see an example of how it's making these kind of decisions. And so for these purposes, I'm using, I think one of my set strategies for US 30 is to trade it on the 4 hour time frame across the board. So in this case, I'm saying I don't want to use an upper and a lower time frame. I want to trade US 30 on the 4 hour time frame. I don't want to get caught up in the smaller, lower time frames and the volatility there. I just want to trade it. So it's going to be looking for my entry and exit signals. My entry, how strong of a trend? I want to look at 60%. Before I consider doing anything. Once it reaches 65%, I want to actively look for buys or sells. My max strength is 95%. My consolidation, I move my consolidation number here to 50%. That's basically saying I don't want to exit my positions even if the market is consolidating. That's one of the personal strategies settings that I use for US 30. Then for my pullback strength, 55%. So if I'm in either a buy or sell, if the market pulls back below 55%, I want to get out of my position. And again, the system is going to scan that for me. My max floating profit, I put it at 5%. Daily limits up here. I'm giving this system some flexibility here. I'm using a 15% daily loss limit. This is something that I would do based on my account size. If I want to risk a little bit more, I'm putting my risk percentage up fairly high, but I'm still managing my overall account by the daily limit. So I'm saying yes, be a little more risky on individual trades, but make sure that I don't lose more than 15% in any given day. And this is very aggressive setting here. Again, only recommended for a small account to risk 15% daily. Typically, we're running between maybe 5%, 4 to 5% or something daily limit, on larger accounts. But for these purposes, those are my account settings. Okay, so let's run this for a little bit and just see how the system does. Oh, excuse me, I didn't specify, but I started with using an example of just a $1,500 account. So $1,500 in here, I've got a daily risk of 15%. So I'm not risking, I'm not at any point in time risking too much relative of my account. So roughly, $225 or something. Let's see. There we go. And I'm going to turn this on here. And I'm running this on US 30 4-hour time frame. I just went back like about 6 months. So September through January. And now I specified my trade times. I'm only trading between 1200 hours and 1830. So it didn't even start looking for trades here until now. So right now my strength is going between 50% or so. So the market's not really doing anything right now. It's not going up, not going down much. And so I'm not taking trades. So let's let it continue for a little bit. Okay, now the strength is picking up a little bit. It's high. It got over 70, 80 or so percent. But look at the time of day it is. The time of day, this current candle is 500 hours. So that's not within my trade time. It's not within my trade time. I'm not taking trades. Okay, so now we finally got within our trading time period. Yep, right at 1,300 hours. So here in this time frame here, 1,200 hours, we're looking at 4-hour candles. So my time frame was 1,200 hours. I executed the first trade. We are in a sell. So we took a sell. Okay, we came down, did not quite hit the take profit target, but the system did close out. So we can go and see here in the journal, here, taking profits. So it said, I closed out your sales and I'm taking profits. And at that point, it hit our 5% goal. So 10% on this account would have been what? 150, so $75. I had 5% as my goal. So if we look at the results here, it shows, yes, we got right over $75 in profit. It automatically closed and took my profits. I had that as my user setting. If I didn't want that as my setting, change it. Make it 10%, make it 8% or something like that. So the system automatically did that for me. Let's continue. The market is still selling. It pulled back. It's still looking for other opportunities. Okay, now we're outside of our trade hours. And now we're back. So we're selling again. It's kind of floating. Okay, looks like we took a loss on that one. So we did not, again, hit our stop losses. But let's go up here and see what and why the system exited there. Trading stop. It says max daily drawdown limit reached. So at that point, we reached our daily drawdown, and the system saw this and stopped trading for us. We entered some sales down here. Unfortunately, these over a period of time were just going in the wrong direction. So we took a loss. That's going to happen in the market. We just want to be able to manage our losses. Okay, so let's continue. Looking for another trade opportunity. Okay, we just took a buy. And now the market's not doing much. Okay, we took another buy. Okay, we closed those out. We can see why. Okay, taking profits. We closed those out, took profits. Okay, so now we're back pretty close to our starting balance. We're still in the hole a little bit. Let it keep running and see where we're going to get here. Okay, we're taking another buy, close out in profit. The market's still buying. Okay, we took another. Was that another buy or a close? Okay, looked like it did both. Looked like we took a buy here, but immediately got out. I think that's what happened. Yeah, let's look at the results here. Yeah, okay. So we did take a buy, but just a few minutes later, so we took this buy at 1300 hours. And then a few minutes later, 5 minutes later, the system saw something to say, hey, I don't like this. Let's get out of here. And so fortunately, we did get out of that buy and here right before the market dropped. Okay. All right. So for these purposes, I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. See if we can see more trades going. Okay. So that was another sell that we were in. The market dropped down quite a bit. Looks like we took profits in this area here. It should tell me why we exited. It's reading buys and sells here. I just need to see a disclose time. Okay, right there. So it closed. That's another case where we took profits. And some of these are comments that we have in here that the system is reading, making comments on things. Here it's saying closing buys. There's too many sellers. At this point in time, we didn't have any buys open, but it's still giving me that information. So if I had buys open, it would have been closing those as this sell started down. Let's continue. Okay, so we're back up in profit. And so the month we started the 1st of September, the month of September is not over yet. We're up about $100. That's not bad. We just took another sale here. Exited that sale. So it looked like we took a loss on that one. Okay, here, closing all sales, it's saying too many buyers are entering into the market. So it's saying even though our stop loss was up here somewhere, because we're on the 4-hour time frame, it says I'm not going to let the market push up to here. Let's exit and wait for another opportunity. So we're pretty much back to break even. Okay, took a sale, took a small profit. So let's go and adjust here. Okay, another sale, another sale. Okay, more profits. Okay, we're selling again, taking profits again. As you can see here, this strategy is not designed to always try to catch the start of a move. You know, we didn't start selling up here. We actually didn't start taking sales until further down. This strategy is designed to say, let the market show me where it's going, and I'll get in and join that trend. This is not a reversal strategy. It's not trying to get the sniper entry. It's trying to get confirmed moves. And so right now we're September is not over, and we're up a little over 25% profits so far for the month. Had some losses earlier, and we'll probably will continue to have more losses here as this thing runs. But it's just consistency is what we're seeing. And US 30 is one of the most difficult assets on the planet to trade. So, but it's good to get an understanding of how this strategy is working. Okay, we took another sell, took profits off of that sell, took another sell, and profits off of that one. Okay, and all we're doing is reading all of these cues to give us an indication if the market is strong in this direction or not. And we're only executing when the market is strong. Say we took a sell here, took profits on that, and got out before the market pushed back up. Okay. All right. So for time's sake and the rest of this video, I'm just going to speed through this. And now that we have a good idea of what the system is doing, let's just let it run. So we're 1 month in, and we're a little over 30% profit, something like that. Here through October, we're up to around 3,300. So we're well over 100% profit on this account right now. Let's let it continue. Okay, I wish there was one intermediate speed here. Maybe I'm just going to have to let it run like that and stop it periodically. Okay, so if you see this time period up here from once we got into November, let's scroll back here a little bit. Okay, yeah, once we got here in the end of October, US 30 started buying pretty significantly here. A lot of this time period, we were not in these trades because the buy strength at the time that we would have entered the trade was not during our trade time. And so you could say, well, hey, we missed a lot of opportunity here. Yes, we did. But I have learned in my personal trading and settings to only trade this during the ideal time. And so as a result of that, we did not get the huge move, relatively huge move, but we caught that small move and profited. Caught a small sale. Looks like we may have lost that sale there. Caught another move and profited, another move and profited, another one and profited. Profit, 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 profit. All of these moves here we're buying when the market is confirmed. And so as a result, right now, again, we're through almost the end of November. And this strategy, we started at $1,500. We're almost at $5,000, a little over $4,500. So I'd say it's doing pretty good. Okay, we took some more, took another loss, a little more win. We're up to a little over 6,000. Okay, this thing is going very fast. We're up to 8,500. And so now that our account size is growing, we still have that same risk in there. So if we do get these high buys like this and we got some good profits, if and when we take a loss, so when the system is wrong, which it is going to be, when the system is wrong, we could have some significant dollar losses. So to go from $8,500, this thing could drop back down to 7,000 or something. And we could be at this point risking almost more than what we started out with originally. But let's see. Okay. Okay, we just took a sell, See, we lost that sale. That's a good example. What I was saying, we were at 8,500. We're down to 7,700. We just lost almost $800 on that trade. We go to the end here. Yes, 289. So each of those three positions lost because they hit the stop loss. We thought it was a good idea to sell here at 1205, but 4 hours later, that next 4 hour candle, whatever we saw right in here to make us think that the market was selling, we were just wrong. So we missed it. Keep going. Okay, we're near the end of December. So we're almost 4 months in, and we are about still over 300% profit. Okay, profit a little bit more, and we're back to our $8,000 or so. Speed it up again. Okay, buying. We're up to $8,200 on an account that started at $1,500 in September. We're a little over $9,000. I'd say the system is working pretty well. We're going to hit 10. Oh, we crossed over 10,000. Fortunately, our system was smart enough here to exit out of these sales before the market pushed back up. So we've spent a ton of time training this system, using a lot of our AI tools, AI logic to help us make decisions back and forth. I see we're losing a couple now, but to really, train the system enough to make not always the most accurate decision, but to make managed decisions, high probability decisions, to get us in and out of these markets. Okay, so we had crossed 10,000. We dropped back down to 8 and some change. And now we are back over 9. And so this is almost mid-January. We got back down to what? Back down to 78. Okay. So we got as high as 10. We're back to under 8,000 now. And so at this point in time, you can see all of this volatility. Look at the size of these candles. So the market is just playing a lot of tricks right now. And so we've gotten shaken out of some trades. But we're still up substantially. Okay, taking sales there. Taking a few more profits. A few more. Okay, we're back up to 9. Let's see if we can get back over $10,000. I don't know if it's going to happen. Maybe close. Okay, we're coming up to almost the end time period. We're running this through January. Okay, we are back over 10,000. That was a rough climb. I think the losses that we're taking because of these market shakeout stuff, a lot of news events and those kind of things affected us a lot. We're a little over 11,000. See if we're going to finish strong, a little over 12. See how the rest of January plays out. So yeah, this video here, I know it's pretty long here now, but it's important for you all who are using this strategy or using this pro system. There's plenty short little clips and that kind of stuff, but we're taking time in this video because I want to make sure that everyone really understands how this works and understand how important it is, to adjust your settings accordingly. With different settings, we probably could have profited more, by letting it run a little bit longer instead of that, taking profits at 5%. but you cannot be greedy in this market. And I would say growing a $1,500 account to over $12,000 is, some tremendous results. And at no point in time are we being greedy here in the market. We're taking what the market gives us and being content with small gains. So it looks like we're going to end up here. Okay, we're a little over 14,000. Okay, so we ended up here with around 14,000. So almost, people, almost 1,000%. So 900, whatever the math is on that. We started from $1,500 and we ended up with almost $15,000 in 5 months. Let's go look at the summary results here. I can see a report. Well, let's look at the graph first. So here's the overall graph here. So we started out, and this is when the account balance was small, making little small gains. We got up, had some pullbacks, up, had some pullbacks. We're going to have these times. This is one of these times in here where the account balance got up as high as $8,700. And over a period of time, it dropped back down. Well, still not huge, dropped back down to 7,800. But at that point, $800 was a significant loss. But here we started a steady climb again, still had losses along the way, but pretty consistent. So let's look at the overall report here. This shows that we started with a $1,500 account balance, made a total net profit of $13,000. Our profit factor, that's just a measure of the loss to win, the win to loss ratio. So that's pretty high. Our absolute drawdown. So this is an important number here. Absolute drawdown is the total deficit that our account ever got since we started. So since we started at $1,500, how much in the hole did we go? So we went a little over $300 in the hole. And so, it might have been a little bit of a rough start percentage wise. But that's why I emphasized earlier, this pro strategy has to have some room to breathe. We have to be able to put in funds in the account to trade this kind of strategy. And, funds that we can be flexible enough to, handle 20, 25, 30% or so losses on that without giving up on the overall strategy. Okay. We took a total of 312 trades. Our overall profit percent, we won 84% of those trades. Had some pretty significant wins, had some significant losses. So our average loss was was greater than our average win, but we're winning 80% of the time and we're taking consistent profits. And here's what's an important number here. The average consecutive wins. So of the trades that were executed, we had 24 consecutive wins and only had, I think that number is 5 consecutive losses. So that's an important number here. So hopefully this video, I know it's long, but hopefully it was very informative, detailed. It gives those of you who are some of our clients who are using this pro system or just getting started. It gives you a little bit of insight on how the system operates, some of the settings that you can tweak on. And our mindset is find a trading pair that's dynamic, that's moving, something like this, high volume, something like US 30, possibly gold. We've tested this strategy and run it on numerous pairs. And so hopefully it will help advance your, your trading journey. And if you're definitely partnering with us, drop us a line, drop us a message or something. If we post this video, we may post it on our YouTube channel as well. Please like, subscribe to our channel, and let us know how we can help you here at Akeelah. Okay, thanks. You guys have a blessed day.